Rome. Even the name resonated with power, a power that was felt in every corner of the known world. It echoed through the ages, a testament to the ambition and might of its people, a civilization that stood the test of time. By the time Gaius Julius Caesar was born, in 100 BC, Rome was no longer a mere city. It had grown beyond its humble beginnings. It was a force of nature, an empire in the making, stretching its influence far and wide across continents. Its cobbled streets, teeming with life, were arteries of a vast dominion, connecting people, ideas and cultures. Towering structures of marble and granite, monuments to Roman ambition, pierced the azure sky, standing as symbols of their engineering prowess. The Forum, the heart of this sprawling city, pulsed with the energy of 1,000 voices, 1,000 dreams, 1,000 schemes. It was a place where destinies were forged.
The grandeur of my city, its unshakable confidence, seeped into my very being, shaping my thoughts and aspirations.
Young Caesar, his eyes bright with youthful curiosity, would often find himself amidst this bustling spectacle, absorbing the sights and sounds. He was a child of Rome, born into the heart of its relentless energy, a city that never slept. He would stand in the shadow of the Colosseum, its sheer scale dwarfing him, yet igniting within him a spark of ambition as colossal as the structure itself. The grandeur of the Colosseum was a constant reminder of what could be achieved. He would listen, mesmerized, to the speeches echoing in the Forum, absorbing the cadence of power, the weight of words that could sway the masses. These orations were lessons in leadership and influence.
Even as a child, I possessed an undeniable charisma, a magnetism that drew people to me, making me a natural leader among my peers.
His laughter was infectious, his gaze intense and penetrating, capable of seeing through the facades of those around him. He was a whirlwind of energy, constantly questioning, exploring, testing the limits of his world, never content with the status quo. Yet, beneath the surface of this energetic youth, there resided a keen intellect, a mind that absorbed knowledge like a sponge, always eager to learn more. He was a student of the city, of its people, of its history, learning from every interaction, every experience. He was, in many ways, a reflection of Rome itself. Ambitious, proud, and destined for greatness. His destiny was intertwined with that of the city. Rome, in all its glory, was his teacher, his playground, his birthright. It was a city that offered endless opportunities for those bold enough to seize them. It was within the bustling marketplaces and the hushed whispers of ancient temples that young Caesar's destiny began to take shape. These places were the crucibles of his ambition. It was here, in the city of marble and might, that the seeds of greatness were sown in the fertile ground of his ambition. The city itself was a testament to what could be achieved with vision and determination. From a young age, Gaius Julius Caesar exhibited an ambition that seemed to burn brighter than that of his peers. His eyes always held a spark, a glimmer of something more, something that set him apart from the other children. While other children played games of war, Caesar strategized, his mind already mapping out campaigns and conquests. He would often be found with a stick in hand, drawing intricate battle plans in the dirt, his imagination running wild with visions of future victories.
Caesar, your intellect is sharp. You have a mind that sees beyond the present, a mind that can shape the future. Let us nurture it with lessons in rhetoric, philosophy, and literature. These are the tools that will arm you for the battles of the mind and the heart.
His tutor, a stern Greek scholar named Marcus Antonius Gnipho, recognized the boy's sharp intellect and nurtured it with rigorous lessons in rhetoric, philosophy, and literature. Gnipho saw in Caesar a potential that was rare, a potential that needed to be carefully cultivated. Gnipho instilled in his young charge the importance of eloquence, of wielding words as weapons, of swaying the hearts and minds of men. He taught Caesar that a leader must not only be strong in battle, but also persuasive in speech.
I devoured every bit of knowledge Gnipho offered. His teachings were like a feast for my mind, each lesson a new delicacy to be savored and absorbed. I excelled in my studies, mastering languages with ease and demonstrating a natural talent for oratory. The words flowed from me as if they were a part of my very being, each speech a testament to my growing skill.
He would spend hours practicing his speeches, his voice echoing through the family villa, his words imbued with a passion that belied his young age. His family would often pause to listen, captivated by the fervour and conviction in his voice. He studied the lives of great men, immersing himself in the tales of Alexander the Great, of Leonidas and his Spartans, of the Roman heroes of old. Each story was a lesson, each hero a model to emulate. Their courage, their leadership, their unwavering pursuit of glory resonated deeply within him. He saw in their stories a reflection of his own aspirations, a path that he too could follow.
Yet my ambition was not merely a desire for personal glory. It was a burning need to make a difference, to leave a mark on the world that would be remembered for generations. I believed I was destined for something greater than myself. My dreams were not just for my own advancement, but for the betterment of Rome itself.
He saw the inequalities within Roman society, the plight of the plebeians, the growing discontent among the masses. He understood that true leadership meant addressing these issues, not just seeking power for its own sake. He believed that he, Gaius Julius Caesar, could be the one to bring order to chaos, to restore Rome to its former glory. He envisioned a Rome where justice and fairness prevailed, where every citizen had a voice. His ambition was a double-edged sword, a source of both inspiration and danger. It drove him to achieve greatness, but it also set him on a path fraught with peril. It fueled his relentless pursuit of excellence, his unwavering determination to succeed. Every challenge was met with resolve, every obstacle a stepping stone to his ultimate goal. But it also made him enemies, those who envied his talents, who feared his potential. His peers watched him with a mix of admiration and jealousy, aware that he was destined for something they could only dream of. Yet Caesar remained undeterred, his gaze fixed firmly on the horizon, his heart set on a destiny that lay waiting to be claimed. He knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but he was prepared to face whatever challenges came his way, driven by a vision of a greater Rome. While Caesar's ambition burned bright, it was tempered by the love and guidance of his mother Aurelia. A woman of impeccable lineage and unwavering strength, Aurelia was no ordinary Roman matron. She was a force to be reckoned with, a pillar of strength in her family and a guiding light in her son's life.
Caesar, my son, you have great potential. Remember the values of honor, loyalty, and compassion.
Recognizing Caesar's potential, she nurtured his ambition, instilling in him the values of honor, loyalty, and compassion. Aurelia ensured that Caesar received the finest education, surrounding him with scholars, philosophers, and poets. She taught him the importance of family, of tradition, of the Roman virtues that had made their civilization great.
While I encourage your political aspirations, remember that true power lies not just in strength of arms, but also in strength of character.
Their bond was unbreakable, a testament to the deep love and respect they shared. Aurelia was more than just a mother to Caesar. She was his confidant, his advisor, his anchor in the storm. She instilled in him a deep sense of morality, a belief that true greatness lay not just in conquest, but also in justice and compassion. Her influence on Caesar's character cannot be overstated. She was the moral compass that guided his actions, the voice of reason that kept his ambition in check. It was Aurelia who taught Caesar that true leadership meant serving something greater than himself. It was she who instilled in him the belief that Rome, with all its flaws and contradictions, was a cause worth fighting for. And it was her unwavering love that gave him the strength to face the challenges that lay ahead, to embrace a destiny that would forever alter the course of history. As Caesar matured, he began to see the world through a different lens. The innocence of youth gave way to the complexities of adulthood. His playground shifted from the bustling streets of Rome, where he once played and learned the ways of the common people, to the heart of its political arena, the Forum. Here, amidst the grand temples that stood as testaments to Rome's glory and the bustling Senate houses where the future of the Republic was shaped, the destiny of Rome was debated, decided, and often brutally decided. The Forum was not just a place of governance, It was a battlefield of ideas and ambitions. The air crackled with tension, with ambition, with the weight of words that could shape the course of empires. Every conversation, every debate held the potential to alter the course of history. The Forum was a place where the power of rhetoric was as mighty as the sword, where the weight of words could indeed shape the fate of nations.
The Forum was an intoxicating mix of theatre and reality, a stage where I could observe the machinations of power firsthand. It was a place where the lines between performance and genuine political maneuvering often blurred. A stage where I could observe the machinations of power firsthand, where every gesture, every word was calculated for maximum impact.
For Caesar, the Forum was an intoxicating mix of theatre and reality, a stage where he could observe the machinations of power firsthand. It was a place where he could learn the art of influence and control. He would spend hours listening to the speeches of renowned orators, studying their rhetoric, dissecting their arguments, learning the subtle art of persuasion. He understood that to lead, one must first learn to speak. He would spend hours listening to the speeches of renowned orators, studying their rhetoric, dissecting their arguments, learning the subtle art of persuasion. He knew that words could be as powerful as any weapon. Learning the subtle art of persuasion, he realized that the ability to sway the masses was a crucial skill for anyone aspiring to power. He observed the dynamics between different factions, the shifting alliances, the cutthroat nature of Roman politics. He saw how allegiances were formed and broken, often in the blink of an eye. The cutthroat nature of Roman politics was laid bare before him. He saw how quickly friends could become enemies, and how alliances were often as fragile as they were necessary. He learned that power in Rome was not simply inherited, it was earned, often through cunning, compromise, and sometimes brute force. The path to power was fraught with peril and required a keen mind and a strong will.
I was a keen observer, my sharp mind absorbing the intricacies of Roman politics. I watched and learned, understanding that knowledge was power. My sharp mind absorbing the intricacies of Roman politics, I realized that to navigate this world, one needed both intelligence and strategy.
Caesar was a keen observer, his sharp mind absorbing the intricacies of Roman politics. He knew that to succeed, he needed to understand the game and the players. His sharp mind absorbing the intricacies of Roman politics, he began to see the patterns and the players, understanding that every move had a consequence. He witnessed the growing divide between the optimates, who championed the interests of the aristocracy, and the populares, who claimed to represent the common people. This divide was not just political, it was deeply personal and ideological. Who championed the interests of the aristocracy and the populares, who claimed to represent the common people? He saw how these factions vied for control, each with their own vision for Rome's future. Who claimed to represent the common people. He saw how the Senate, once a bastion of Roman virtue, was becoming increasingly corrupt, riven by personal ambition and greed. The ideals of the Republic were being eroded by the very people sworn to protect them. He saw how the Senate, once a bastion of Roman virtue, was becoming increasingly corrupt, riven by personal ambition and greed. The very foundation of Roman society was being undermined by those who sought to exploit it for personal gain. Riven by personal ambition and greed, he saw the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic, and he knew that change was necessary. Riven by personal ambition and greed. These early experiences in the Forum left an indelible mark on Caesar. They fueled his ambition, but they also filled him with a sense of disillusionment. He saw the flaws in the system, the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic. These early experiences in the Forum left an indelible mark on Caesar. They fueled his ambition, but they also filled him with a sense of disillusionment. He saw the flaws in the system, the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic. But they also filled him with a sense of disillusionment. He saw the flaws in the system, the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic. He began to dream of a different Rome. He saw the flaws in the system, the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic. He began to dream of a different Rome, a Rome where justice prevailed. the corruption that was eating away at the heart of the Republic. He began to dream of a different Rome, a Rome where justice prevailed, where the needs of the many outweighed the greed of the few.
I began to dream of a different Rome, a Rome where justice prevailed, where the needs of the many outweighed the greed of the few. It was a vision that would guide my actions in the years to come, a Rome where justice prevailed, where the needs of the many outweighed the greed of the few. It was a vision that would guide my actions in the years to come, a vision that would drive me to challenge the status quo, where the needs of the many outweighed the greed of the few. It was a vision that would guide my actions in the years to come, a vision that would drive me to challenge the status quo and strive for a better Rome.
It was a dream that would stay with him, a dream that would eventually lead him to challenge the very foundations of Roman society. This dream became the cornerstone of his ambition, a dream that would eventually lead him to challenge the very foundations of Roman society. This dream became the cornerstone of his ambition, the driving force behind his actions and decisions. It was a dream that would stay with him, a dream that would eventually lead him to challenge the very foundations of Roman society. This dream became the cornerstone of his ambition, the driving force behind his actions and decisions, and ultimately, the legacy he would leave behind.